everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Booth here on RiverCity-Media. Howard Chaney with Phil Harris. And of course, our special guest tonight is from WAFF 48 Friday Night Blitz, Mr. Carl Prather. Carl, thanks for joining us tonight, man.
Hey, listen, how it feel. Appreciate you all having me as a guest, man. I truly appreciate you all thinking of me, and look forward to talking a little ball and anything else we want to talk about tonight.
Well, my first question is going to be, how does it feel to be on the other side instead of asking the questions, receiving the questions from people?
Howie, I'll take it. I'll take it. It's the funny part about this is it's kind of strangely enough, four score and a couple of hairlines ago, I remember starting this business and asking so many questions, and now if you've been in it for now 18 years or 16 years rather, it's kind of wild to think about that you kind of been able to now being asked questions relative to always asking the questions. So it's surreal, but man, I truly appreciate it. Kind of let you know that you've been in it long enough, and people think enough of you that they kind of want to chop it up with you and have a little Q&A. I appreciate it.
It's how long have you been doing this actually?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I started in the spring of 2006. It was my first job. I started in a small independent television station in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. For those that are familiar with that area of the country, it's in the southwestern part of the state of Kentucky. And I graduated from Western Kentucky University in 2005, and got my first job. It was ran by a local television, a local newspaper, and they housed the television station right next door. But it was very unique, guys. So I lived in Clarksville, Tennessee. It was right there on the Tennessee border. Fort Campbell's Air Force and base is around that area as well. But we had two different television newscasts. So we had a Kentucky newscast, and we had a Tennessee newscast. Well, we had a sports person that would handle all the Kentucky aspects of their counties in that area, and of course state news. And then I handled Montgomery County in Tennessee, in Clarksville, Tennessee, and handled all of the Tennessee sports. We had Austin Peay University there in town, and then of course it was a heavy hub for Tennessee volunteer football. And then the Tennessee Titans were very, very big. So how about this? First summer there in Clarksville, Tennessee, I'm there. The Tennessee Titans have their entire training camp at Austin Peay. So I was there for Vince Young's rookie year and Lindell White's rookie year, and all of those guys were in Austin Peay, and all the national media there. Everybody remembers some of these national media writers and stuff for the NFL. They were there as well. So it was a really, really cool start to your career to kind of be able to be a part of that.
Absolutely. And you're kind of, I don't want to compare it to now, but you're kind of in the same situation being so close to the Tennessee line. So I guess y'all cover both Tennessee and Alabama as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. So, for our collegiate standpoint, from all of our area universities, here in our state, of course, we're covering Alabama and Auburn traditionally. But then because we have a small coverage area above the state line in Fayetteville High School and Lincoln County High School, they can see us there. So we have a really strong contingent of Tennessee volunteer fans here as well. But then here in town, just here in Madison County, think about it, fellas, we have Alabama A&M, which is a historically black college university within the SWAC, and then an hour west of us, folks, and then 2 hours roughly from where you all are at, we have North Alabama. Man, it's a lot. And then Jacksonville State's kind of a couple of hours away with so many local athletes there as well. So a lot to cover. But we're fortunate enough to be able to do that and try to do our best to kind of showcase our area universities within the region.
Yeah, I don't know how well you know Phil. I know you know him pretty well, but he's one of those Tennessee Orange people as well. So he enjoys listening to what you got to say about the Orange team.
Hey Phil, I'll tell you this. Probably one of my greatest joys. I love college football, and I guess I can say, like, I would love to call myself some sort of historian, but I will tell you, Phil, kind of one of my greatest joys is to be able to, my first time to going inside Neyland Stadium and the house that General Neyland built. it was really cool to go there. And I was there for a Tennessee-Georgia game. I don't know if you remember this, Phil, Howie, for our listeners. Phil Fulmer's either second to last year there in Tennessee or last. This is the year with Matt Stafford, Sean Moreno, AJ Green. They all were there. And I'll never forget, I'm covering this game with my independent station that I was working for. And I'll never forget, I bought that Saturday morning the Knoxville News Sentinel. And I had to be over 100 of his former players had a pullout, and they signed it just saying how they were standing behind Phil Fulmer. It's very touching. And that day, there was a 3:30 CBS game, and they blew out Tennessee. I'm talking blew them. I mean, Georgia got blown out. Tennessee blew them out. And I just remember how rocking it was in that atmosphere field. And man, ever since then, been inside Neyland Stadium a gazillion times, and all the great players and Condrick Holloway that I was able to meet there in Tennessee and here in town. That's a special. Hey, Howie, no matter how you look at it, my man, that's a special place there on that Tennessee River.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I think it was when Georgia's running back. I forgot who it was. Is when I can't remember. Their running back got hurt in like the first series, drove into the sideline and went out with a knee injury, and Georgia never recovered. I mean, they just never got anything going whatsoever, and they just couldn't do any. And Tennessee did everything right. It was just one of those days. I mean, because I remember I was in the north end zone at that time, and it was amazing to see, because really Georgia was favored, not by a ton. They weren't favored to just dominate Tennessee, but most people didn't think Tennessee would win that game.
That's right. It was super cool. It was so, and remember, it was a picturesque day, Phil, and how, if you remember, I mean, sunny. I mean, 2:30 game. The unfortunately the walls are slowly kind of closing in on Coach Fulmer, and man, they just had an outstanding showing in that game. I just vividly remember that game, and I mean, to see Matt Stafford in person, and man, I mean, and the way Tennessee played.
Yeah, so I'm guessing you wasn't there in Knoxville when Tennessee beat Alabama in 2022 when the goalpost came down. Was you there?
Ironically enough, Phil, Georgia Chambers, who was our weekend sports anchor, and another a diehard Big Orange Tennessee fan that's from the state of Tennessee, wanted to go to that game. So I got a lot of flack because I thought that Tennessee would win the game. So I knew those two wanted to go to the game, so I let them go to the game. We were able to have them live on the field as the goalposts and people were all over the place. So it was a really cool moment. But I was watching it here in North Alabama. They were on the field covering the game because I figured that if they were to win, I thought it would be a special moment, and they were able to be a part of that special moment.
Yeah, it was something to see. It was some kind of atmosphere.
Yeah. The owner of RiverCity-Media, Randy Cunningham, he actually made it down on the field for the goalpost coming down, and so he still talks about that, and he shows video about that every once in a while, and but Phil, I'll let you go ahead and take care of some of these questions for Carl.
Well, Carl, I kind of want to go, learn a little bit about you. A lot of people, they know you've been the sports director at WAFF, and of course you host Friday Night Blitz, and among other hats. But I want to know, what got you started into sports broadcasting? Was it something you wanted to do as a kid? Did it just kind of fall into place? How did you get to this?
That's a great question. So when I was younger, I loved playing sports, but I fell in love with basketball. I'm from the state of Kentucky, and as you all know, much like Alabama and Auburn here, Kentucky and Louisville basketball is as bitter can be. Strangely enough, for those that may or may not know, I'm the biggest Duke Blue Devil fan you'll ever meet. So I fell in love with college basketball at a very young age, and to be honest with you, college football as well. For us in Kentucky, and I lived right outside of the Louisville area, about 25 miles south, we would always get the Jefferson Pilot Game of the Week. So the Jefferson Pilot Game of the Week would always come on, and I was a big pro wrestling fan when I was a kid, as far as the territory days and all that stuff. So I would wake up in the morning, I would watch there you go. R.I.P. Hulkster. There you go, man. I tell you, like, and I to this day, how I got, side note, I have that same exact action figure. I still have the original wrestling figures. I have the blue cage with my squared circle that I had as a kid. All those action figures. I used to do my own pay-per-views and all that stuff back in the day when I was a kid. Oh, I was crazy. That was nuts. But I loved it. But I loved the NWA over WWF. What was then WWF then, and I loved church. I love Mid-South wrestling. But anyhow, I would wake up on Saturday mornings, watch cartoons, watch pro wrestling. I would go back to back. I would go NWA, I would go WWF, and then I would go Mid-South. Mid-South used to come on from 11 to 12 Eastern time. So then at noon, the Jefferson Pilot game of the week would come on. So I would watch the Jefferson Pilot game. But long story short, I loved and wanted to be one of the best college basketball players ever. Well, there's not many 5'9" and a half point guards that are dominating college basketball, much less trying to make it to play anything professional. And to be quite honest, I wasn't that good in middle school and high school as well also. So I just knew that I always wanted to be a part or in some sort of capacity with sports. And what really caught my eye was late, to be honestly, ironically enough, late elementary, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. I just fell in love with print media. Every single day from kindergarten through 5th grade in my elementary school, our principal would leave the sports page for me to take with me when I would check into school every single day. So I would take that news sports page, the Louisville Courier-Journal, and I would read it front to back. For those that are listening and for how we feel, I know you all know Pat Forty. Pat Forty started in Louisville. So I would read Pat Forty's columns twice a week when he would have his columns. And another guy by the name of Rick Bozich, who just retired from the Louisville Courier-Journal and Sports Media a couple of months ago. So I just fell in love with it. I said I wanted to be a sports writer. That was what I wanted to do until I got to about high school and freshman and sophomore year. And I really started to fall in love with sports talk. I really started to fall in love with just on-air presence from our local TV stations in the Louisville area. So as I got into college and got to Western Kentucky, I chose Western Kentucky solely for it was one of the best broadcasting programs in the country. When you mention Northwestern, Syracuse, and Missouri, Western Kentucky is as good as it gets from a journalism, broadcasting, and photojournalism standpoint. So that's was my kind of trajectory. I'll tell you a quick story. I was not very good in high school, barely played played games of high school basketball. I think my points per game average was like 0.2. So like I may have got a basket here or there. I go and say, you know what, I'm still going to want to go and I'm going to try out and be a walk-on at Western Kentucky. And I'll never forget, I walk in the doors. And I walk indoors and I see a guy grab an alley-oop and dunk it. And I stood there and I was like, I don't think this is going to be for me. I turned around and walked right out. Broadcasting, here I come. I come. So that's the story I'm sticking to.
Yeah, hey, I understand. And it's kind of strange. In my younger days, I knew when I was about 9 years old that I wanted to be on radio. I mean, that was just in my head. That's what I wanted to do. And what really hooked me in, I think it was 1975 or 6. I was listening to John Ward. Tennessee was playing Oregon State, and they were down 13-0 in the 4th quarter. Well, they come back, scored, got an onside kick, scored, tied the game, missed the extra point. But listening to John Ward talk about that, that hooked me. I was a John Ward fan, and I knew right then what I wanted to do. And it's so strange how everything, you want something bad enough, the good Lord's going to, open the doors for you. He's going to grant that for you if you do the work. And so, that's kind of the way it happened for me. And that sounds kind of like the way it happened for you. You were going to make it happen no matter how you had to do it.
If there's anything that I can do, I can't claim anything else. But the one thing that I was able to learn from my dad, who would turn 80 years young in April, a brick mason for 40 plus years, was very fortunate to build a lot of cool things from a brick and mortar standpoint within the Louisville area and beyond. As a hard work. I don't know anything else. So, there may be some naturally gifted and talented people out here in the world, and I truly appreciate them. But just my work ethic was second to none. So I felt that if I could just go down that path, that I would have some sort of success. And I'm appreciative of this amazing area and community having me here for this long. And all I can say is I hope I'm doing something right. Howie, I did want to mention this really quick that Phil mentioned about John Ward. I remember in Kentucky on AM radio, because the AM radio stations at the time, as you all know, in the early 90s and mid 90s was so powerful and so strong. I remember I was fascinated with fishing around to find something at night, sports talk radio or anything, play-by-play on a Saturday night after I finished watching my games. And I could find WWWL from LSU and Baton Rouge. It was so strong. I could get that station in Kentucky and be able to tune in. And every so often, if the moon was right, I could be able to catch some LSU football from an AM station right outside of Louisville, Kentucky. How about that?
Hey, I'm in that same boat. I used to go out and listen to on Saturday nights because LSU always played on Saturday night. I did the exact same thing. It's Charles Alexander played for LSU in the early 80s. He became my favorite football player because, that was back in the days where everybody run the football and they had a feature running back. And listening to LSU on a Saturday night was kind of like a prize for me. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And I was in Northeast Alabama at that time. Yeah. So, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's an amazing thing. And, there's one thing about, Carl, you talk about how work you are. Nobody matches your energy. I mean, that's when we have the media days and whatnot. Oh, you are an energetic guy. I don't see how you do it day after day.
Listen, when I go into our television station or just even out and about, everyone's like, why are you so loud? Can you just tone it down just a little? Howie, I'm talking. If you ask anyone in our newsroom, I'm coming in and it sounds like you'll know that I'm 10 states away, 10 counties away, because I'm always just loud. I try to be upbeat. Listen, everybody has bad days and whatnot, but man, I think I look at it from this standpoint. There's a lot of things, right, that I can be doing for a living that are way tougher and way more difficult than what I'm able to do here. And, I got a dad and a mom that really, really worked hard, especially my dad, because, my dad was born in Florida, but raised in South Georgia, raised in Marion County in a small town called Bella Vista, Georgia. I got a couple of sisters living in Columbus to this day. But he had to work hard. He wasn't able to kind of further his education, had to work, came from a big, large farm when he was growing up. So he had to hit the ground running. And for those that know or don't know, Phil, Howard, man, I mean, those summers when I wasn't playing basketball and having to go build scaffold and drive forklifts and make mortar and mud, as we used to call it, to build these amazing homes and these subdivisions and stuff and be a part of that, trust me, it made you want to do the right thing for an education to try to be able to enhance it. Taking nothing away from all of our amazing construction workers and trade workers across this country. But I just truly appreciate my dad saying, hey, you can have it any way that you want. You can have it the grin and bear, the tough way, or you can have it where you continue to work hard in the classroom to be able to further your opportunities in life. So just very fortunate. I think I took the latter. So I'm happy to be a part of that.
Yeah, it must be really rough. Must be really rough having to watch sports all day long to keep up with your job.
It sure beats working for a living, Howard. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, my dad always preached to me, Phil, I don't want you to end up in a foundry. I don't care what you do, don't end up in a foundry. And I'm sure that's kind of the same thing. That's right. You heard. But doing those things makes you to the point to where you don't forget where you came from. And that's what I was going to ask you about. Coming to Huntsville, you deal with a lot of that. Hardworking families, their kids play athletics. They appreciate anything you do for them to, kind of put them in the spotlight. So where that hardworking parent comes from. So it's easy for you to relate. Is that kind of what has kept you in Huntsville?
That's a great question. I will tell you all this, and I've never even really said this, but I feel like at 42, you'll continue to say it as the older you get. Man, I just have an absolute love affair with North Alabama. I do. I have a love affair with Northeast Alabama. I have a love affair with Central and the Metro Alabama. I have a love affair with the Shoals and Northwest Alabama, all the way down to our kind of where our coverage area kind of cuts off there, the Coleman area there, right outside of in Coleman County. Man, there have been so many people that have been kind of good to me, guys, and for our listeners, that it's weird. It reminds me of everything that I wanted to encompass in a coverage area to work in. What keeps me here is what we're able to cover, meaning our prep athletes, our high school athletes that are doing amazing things, as we all know. From a collegiate standpoint, we have a great mix of Division II athletics at the University of Alabama, Huntsville, all of our amazing community colleges, our local universities here in our area. And then, of course, as we kind of expand our reach, when you're talking about Auburn and Alabama in the Southeastern Conference, the highest of the high in Tennessee in the P4 level. And then we have one of the largest Tennessee Titans fan bases outside of Nashville here in North Alabama. And we have a lot of Titans fans. And we've been blessed to have a lot of professional athletes that have played for the Titans, played for NFL franchises. But it's a beautiful mix of just enough of the pro game with our collegiate standouts in our programs, and then down to the grassroots level of high school athletics that I truly love. So I have just a pure love affair with this area because it's an amazing place to live, amazing place to raise a family, and just the people are so great. And of course, as he throws up his dirty birds out there, Howie, we gotta listen. That's the other part. We got a diehard Falcons fan, and AJ Weiss that's at our station too. I mean, he bleeds Falcons. I'm a 49er guy since I was a kid. Jerry Rice is my second favorite athlete of all time. I love Steve Young's my favorite quarterback of all time. Brent Jones is one of my favorite tight ends of all time. I mean, so I could go down that rabbit hole. But yeah, but I think you all understand. You just mentioned it. Like North Alabama and the state is kind of a melting pot. So like, think about it, Howie. You just mentioned the Falcons. Okay, we have Falcons fans in this area. We have Saints fans in this area. Tennessee Titans fans. People fell in love with the Chargers because Phillip Rivers is from Decatur, Athens area, played for the Chargers for 14 years, about to be in the Hall of Fame shortly. So it's just, that's what makes it great, is because people care about sports. It's a part of our fabric and part of our community, with me being here since 2009. And it just makes it truly special. And that's why this is home for me. It's just truly home for me across the board. So that's why I love being here, for sure. Well, my little boy's telling me good night because he's got his first day of school tomorrow. Good night, young man. I will see you in the morning.
Hey, and that's that was the very next thing I want to ask you about. Your family, your son. I think he's 7. Tell us a little bit about your family. We don't know anything about him. Probably a lot of folks don't know about your family. But tell us about that.
Oh man, I tell you, 7-year-old, y'all gotta give me some tips, man. Everybody give me some. I got a long way to go. He plays every day. His name is Blake. He is a great young man, and truly happy. I'm just happy to see his growth. He carefree, not a care in the world. But yeah, he's 7. Plays all this, everything, football, basketball. Kind of get into those. You kind of want him to kind of find what he's going to fall in love with, expose him to everything, and hope for the best that he falls in love with a couple of sports moving forward as he continues to grow into a teenager. And then my lovely wife, Lindsay, she's fantastic as well. She has been here with me from the start. It's crazy. She tells all our friends and tells everybody that as August rolls around, it's almost like, she's a widow, because she really doesn't see a lot of me from August until we get into, to be honest, head into the month of May. Because you got to understand, for those watching and listening, the second to last week of August, that Friday through Super 7 championship week, I don't get any Fridays off. And weekends, for the most part, you try to have those off. But even if I'm here at home, I'm making sure that everything is covered from our weekend sports anchor, our news team on Saturdays. If I'm not at home, I'm at a game, whether it's Tennessee, Alabama, Auburn, Alabama A&M, North Alabama. And then as we kind of transition out of football, basketball becomes a centerpiece there, and we head into the high school basketball, college basketball scene. We get out of Christmas break. Here we are, January, February, March. Our spring sports start getting involved. You know how big baseball, softball, soccer's in our area. And then in May, as we head into May, you know, everything's wrapping up from a high school standpoint. And then we kind of have a little bit of breathing room, right? But then, you know, our college baseball, college softball programs, they're playing well into the summer. So it used to be some off season for some family time there, but even with all of that feeling how it, like, let's be real, we find the time. We try to make all our moments matter and count. And it's unique for us in the media. As you all know, our hours are not like everyone else's hours, but you try to make it work and you try to find some time there. But Blake and Lindsay have been absolutely rock stars, and they've been an outstanding support system for yours truly. And it's kind of cool to kind of watch, you know, you have a kid and you're watching him kind of seeing what you do and kind of understanding it now and kind of seeing it. So as the years go on, you know, I'm very, very excited to kind of take him with me to things, you know, let him be able to, you know, to walk into Neyland Stadium, walk into Bryant-Denny, walk into Jordan-Hare Stadium, be able to go on the road and maybe see an LSU game, be able to go and see a fantastic game at Alabama A&M or the Magic City Classic or some of these big events. For him to kind of have the love affair that we all have, the love affair, the roar of the crowd, the pageantry, all of the nostalgia that accompanies all of these amazing athletics. And even from the high school level, I'm excited to take him to, you know, high school football games before, fingers crossed, he's, you know, starting to play prep athletics and high school football for him as well. So it's an exciting time. Schedule is a lot. But, you know, we know, fellas, we all know, you make it work and you try to make the most of your time, even when it's not a lot.
Yeah. Well, tell me this. How did you and Lindsay meet?
Oh, great. Listen, you want to talk? Here's the story of the year. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right, here we go. We're at Western Kentucky University. I am in a intro. I'm in a intro to music class, right? Was it intro to music, Lindsay? What was it? Music appreciation. She just told me she's walking upstairs to get our kid down. Music appreciation. I'm in this class. Our teacher's name, get this, fellas, was James Brown. I cannot make this up. I'm dead serious. So here's how this worked. I sat in the back of the class, of course, because I was getting to class late. I was sitting in the back of the class. She was a great student, sat in the front. For some reason, this day that I go to class, it's a Friday. I go in this class, and I'm like, nobody's going to be here. I'm just sitting in the back. It is packed, fellas. Packed. I have to navigate my way all the way there because it was kind of an auditorium type. We had about 150 kids in there. So I had to navigate my way to the middle of the class. Well, we had to have a study partner for a test that we were preparing for that he sprung on us for tomorrow. Never met her, never knew who she was in the class. I, by chance, went left, went right. She looked better on the right than the person as a guy on the left. So I started talking to her. And I said, hey, we're going to work on this together. And I thought I was like Rico Suave, right? Here's how this all laid out. So we talked, and I started noticing, I'm like, she's not bad on the eyes. We're doing this. We're going through this test, preparing for this. So Rico Suave here, how it feel? I gave her my number. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I gave her my number. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think she was going to call it. I didn't think anything about it. Going about my merry way, and sure enough, that night, she gave me a call. And I promise you, no joke, we talked for about 2.5 hours. I'm in my dorm. She's in her dorm. Kids, I don't know if you all know this. We had phones in our dorms. And we had little answer machines. And you could call on the phone. And you could talk to the person across campus. It was the thing before these cell phones really went crazy. Anyhow, we were talking on the phone. And to be brutally honest, we just hit it off. And to be honest, the rest is history. We've been married 14 years, and it's just been awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, great story. You know, I saw this somewhere, but somebody told me that you would sing that the Western Kentucky alma mater at the drop of a hat. Is that true?
I will listen. I represent Western Kentucky at all times. My first couple of years, Phil, how about this? Hey guys, they'd be like, why is this crazy man in here singing this fight song? Like, what is wrong with him? And I would just like break out into, I don't even know why I even memorized this at Western. Like, I get it. Some people memorize their alma mater stuff, but like, because it was catchy, but it was kind of like old school, like cheesy a little bit, but like it was great. So we have for those that know, we got a red towel that we wave, kind of like a terrible towel for those who are familiar with Pittsburgh Steelers, or we have these whiteouts and all these blackouts, whatever it may be for these games, and they give you towels and all this stuff. So we had all that. But yeah, on the drop.
Oh, we lost him. He got too excited. I bet he got a phone call.
Yeah, it's usually what happens in something like that. Yeah, right when he was getting started.
Yeah.
So
we'll get him back on here in just a second.
Yeah, maybe see him coming back in. Yeah,
there he is. We got you, Carl.
Hey, you guys are right. The phone
went back out.
Okay, I got to bring him back in. Hold on a second, Carl. Oh.
There we go.
There we go.
Phone call got me. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Somebody's giving me a call. Here we go. For everybody watching at home, for everyone listening, we'll do a little clap with this. It's stand up and cheer for dear old Western, for today raise the red and white above the rest. Rah, rah, rah. Our team is fighting, and we're bound to win the fray. We got a team. We got a team. For this is dear old Western's day. So I would just really, that's tame. I would really like drag it out, and it's a whole thing. So I used to always crack people up, but I used to do that all the time. But yeah, shout out to Western Kentucky University. Would not be here without WKU and the amazing, amazing university that is in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Truly, truly appreciate everything that university provided me.
Well, I want to ask you this. Yeah, the Hilltoppers, yes. I want to. Who was maybe mentors? Who was some of the people that you looked up to, or maybe inspired you as your broadcasting career began to grow?
Yeah, that's a great. I will tell you this. I mentioned the aforementioned Pat Forty just from a print standpoint. I just read him all the time because his columns were awesome, and Rick Bosich. But man, I used to like read like the USA Today, and anytime we go on family trips and stuff, guys. I mean, we stop at a gas station. I'm picking up the local newspaper. I'm reading it, and don't get me wrong, I would read like editorial part in the news part of it. But like of course, my love was just I was pulling that sports page out. So I just started falling in love from a print standpoint with so many amazing writers. Like I remember reading Michael Wilbon when he was working for the Post in Washington. I to this day, I remember reading the Tallahassee Democrat and reading their writers. In LSU and Baton Rouge, reading some of their writers. Knoxville, the News Sentinel, reading some of their writers and things of that nature. Gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I'm trying to remember my man's name because he was so kind to me. But he worked a long time for the Austin State Democrat that covered Texas, and now he's moved over to the Houston Chronicle. But the guys, Tim Kalashaw at the Dallas Morning News, Byron Burwell from the USA Today, from a National Post. I was from a local television standpoint, man. I mean, or news print standpoint, I was in it. And then I'll tell you another one. What I used to do when I was in college, especially kind of honing my craft and trying to hone my craft before graduation. I used to on my computer in the dorm. I used to go and just sporadically. I used to go to all parts of the United States and go to local television stations, and I would just watch local TV guys. So I used to watch Dale Hansen all the time when I was in college from the TV station in Dallas, Texas. And I would go and watch Rick Henry, that's in South Carolina, that's worked for WIS for decades. Some of your kind of pillars there. And then from a national standpoint, fell in love with Stuart Scott and his energy, and the Van Pelts of the world, and the Dan Patricks and the Keith Olbermans, and the Fran Charleses of the world. I mean, guys, when I say that, like, I was like truly immersed in a print and television standpoint, I just fell in love with people. Andrea Kramer and the great Robin Roberts, and even Susie Colbert as she was coming along. And man, just so many men and women that influenced my life just to kind of show me how to do it the right way, and attempting to try to do it the right way as I'm trying to do daily now, was very, very important to me. And to be honest, guys, I just took a little bit from everyone. The one thing that I could really hang my proverbial hat on was just how hard they worked at their craft, and it showed. We know that, like, that's the reason why they were where they are today. From, it didn't matter if you're writing for a local newspaper, whether you're writing for a regional, national newspaper, or you're doing the same thing from a television standpoint. Those are the people I just wanted to find what they do. I'll tell you a quick story. Does everyone remember Armin Katayan?
Yeah.
So Armin Katayan used to do, he did 60 Minutes, but he did Real Sports for Brian Gumbel for years and years and years. My first pro football game I go with a buddy of mine. We fly to Green Bay, Wisconsin, and we watch the Packers play the Jaguars. His aunt, uncle, as those that may or may not know, the Packers are owned by the people. Everybody has a little percentage, and his aunt and uncle had a little bit of percentage, and he wanted to take me up there. So we were able to go up there for that game. That is either Brett Favre's, it's either second to last or last year. Anyhow, it's 23 below wind chill. I thought I was doing something with having my long johns and all the stuff I have in Kentucky, because we get to 0 and -1, -5. And his aunt and uncle, his family was like, no. We have the proper long johns and stuff that you need, because you will be a piece of like ice skating across Lambeau Field. So they give me this huge, beautiful Carhartt zip up work jumper there. And I mean, I was so warm and comfortable. I would have never thought that I was in those type of elements. But long story short, short story long, we're coming back from Green Bay on a Sunday. Armin Katayan and the CBS crew are doing the game. And I'll never forget, he's sitting there waiting. We had to, for those that know, you have to go from Green Bay to Chicago. So it's a commuter to get there. So we're all sitting there in Green Bay at the airport there to get to Chicago, and then Chicago back to, we flew out of Nashville. But anyhow, he's sitting there with us. And I was like, man, I just always was told, listen, closed mouth doesn't get fed. So I'm going to introduce myself as a college student to him. And I went, and he was as gracious could be. And I'll never forget, I was able to send him some of my college demo reels, and he responded to me and kept up with me as long as we were in contact while I was in college. I said all that to say, for those that maybe tune into this that are aspiring journalists, college students, high school students, you can never have enough resources out there to be able to continue to hone your craft and help you along your way. I just don't know where I would be, fellas, if so many people didn't take an interest in me, or more importantly, I didn't at least ask for some sort of help or some decipher with some of the things that I were able to do when I was in college and ascending. Same thing, even as a pro, as I call myself now, and a veteran in the business. Like, I don't have all the answers, but I just really was fortunate to feel with some of those people that I never met in my life, that I watched from afar, or those that were up close and personal, that I were able to meet and discuss and help me along my way. I don't know where I'd be if I didn't have all of those avenues for me moving forward.
Yeah, definitely understand. When I grew up, my main thing is, of course, I knew I wanted to get into radio, but Chattanooga paper, News Free Press, and Times, front to back, read every sports every day, really was into high school football. Then I moved down here. Every Saturday, I was getting the Huntsville Times, the Gadsden Times, the Chattanooga News Free Press, and the Times Journal, and I'd read everything front to back. I just love sports, and all those riders and all those games was covered. It's not anymore. And even stories are now, a lot of them are wrote by AI. So, people don't, have the craft that they used to have. there's not a lot of people like what you're talking about around anymore that inspire others. And you're seeing less and less people getting into broadcasting. Radio stations, everybody wonders why they simulcast. Well, they don't have enough people interested in that craft. So that's just what happens. Newspapers have went down because everything can get instant news. So, the media has changed. It really has. So, people like us, I guess you could say, are in a sense a dying breed.
It is, and it's unfortunate. I've been blessed enough to be here when we had the Huntsville Times, as you all know. And there are papers in Jackson County, DeKalb County. Like, I read those to this day online, which is ironic. Online, you have to read them.
Yeah.
I remember when the Huntsville Times was just a standalone. It was the Huntsville Times. I also know now that, there was a Huntsville Times and Birmingham Free Press and Mobile Register. They're all conglomerate now with AL.com. You go look in Oregon and look at Oregon Live and Michigan Live with the Detroit Free Press. We don't have those newspapers that stand alone anymore. And that's the one thing that I miss. I understand that we have to evolve with the times. And I think, technology has been amazing for our coverage, what we're able to do and how to expose these young people and our athletes that are away to home, the whole nine. But man, you guys, you all are old enough. I'm old enough to know, man, I know what the local paper feels like. And I know what the local paper could do for communities and supporting them. I don't have all the answers for why they're going away and what's the deal there. But what I will tell you is that I believe that there's an avenue for papers to continue to evolve and grow, and you'd be able to pick your paper up and read it and fall in love with, that front page of the sports page and seeing insert student athlete here, having a big night on the football field, the basketball field, the softball, baseball field, soccer. It's something for your community to have to just call your own. And I really, really miss that. I really, really do. But I understand we evolve, but I feel like there's still an avenue for all of those mediums, print, digital, and beyond, to still be had.
Yeah, my wife, Chrissy, and I've talked several times about her. You want kids to get into communications. You would like to see it. Well, now they're getting back to where we're getting trade schools to be, jump back up again. The government's starting to fund trade schools. My thinking is, now I have a communications degree, but I'm not a teacher. But why can't I teach a communications course at the high school level to see if we can inspire kids to get into communications? It's an interesting field. I mean, and it's so broad. Yeah, you're not going to get rich doing it, but it's a whole lot better than digging a ditch.
No question about that. Hey, we just mentioned it, fellas. Those watching, listening, we know people. We have people in our immediate family, extended family, friends, family, neighbors, community members. Wake up each and every morning, each and every night if they're working a night shift, and work hard. And we appreciate everyone that does these amazing jobs that are a fabric of all of our communities, right, and growing up. But you just mentioned it, Phil. There's a lot of people out here that would love to continue to pay it forward and help people. We are in an age of the world where you're never too old or young to start or be a part of something. And with the way media has changed now over the course of the last decade, much less 5 years, there's always an avenue for anyone and everyone. But it's really hard for a lot of people. Listen, as outgoing as I am, guys, for every one of me, there's a couple of people that don't know where to turn, where to go, how to ask questions, how to get some expertise. How do I get into this field? And when you start to have, your print mediums and stuff go away, Howie and Phil, my goodness, like, all you see is a digital standpoint. I just wish that all of our universities and mediums across our area and beyond continue to go down the route, which I think I'm encouraged with it, but go down the route of non-traditional media members. And what I mean by that is those that either pay their dues, not pay, but we have avenues to kind of help and continue to grow our medium, guys, as you all know.
Yeah, Coach, and I'm sure you're like me. My favorite part of doing this media stuff is connections. with other media members. You know, I get to see you guys on media days. I love the media days now because everything comes to us. We all get to talk for a few minutes. Otherwise, we don't get to see each other very much. And we get to see these kids in a different level, make them talk. That's good for them. We get to spend a little more time with coaches that we don't get to. And then that part has evolved and been great. You know, they come to us and enjoy doing that. And like this right here, when you can talk about other people, coaches can talk about their kids. That's the one good thing about social media and the kind of the platform that we use is to kind of inspire young people, inspire communities, and kind of try to hold them together because it's very important. But I want to ask you a couple of things for you, because I know we won't keep you too long. I want to know in the sports part of it, what are your favorite sports to kind of sort of cover? What are kind of sort of the sports that are kind of very hard for you? And you know, what are some of the things you enjoy covering?
I will start with the last part of that first. And people may not believe this, but I tell this to anyone. I say it on the air at our television station, WAFF TV in Huntsville. I've been blessed enough to go to national championship games, college football playoff games, college football playoff semifinals, bowl games, NCAA tournaments, state basketball, you name it. I've been able to be blessed to see it and be a part of it. There is nothing greater than for yours truly to be able to watch a student athlete sign a scholarship.
Yeah.
And everyone, people, it's funny because I was joking and teasing. I have a good friend, Jim Dunaway, who works down at Jocks down in Birmingham. We got to meet up with each other. Worked at Jocks. Him and his medium group have their own deal. And I was teasing them. We were waiting for Coach Kevin DeBoer. We were in Atlanta, and everybody was trying to do their one-on-ones with him. And I was teasing because I was talking about that, and he was like, "I've known you long enough." And he was ripping me. You don't have to make up this to try to get hired anywhere. I was like, and we laughed and laughed. But he knows genuinely, I'm dead serious. There is nothing greater for yours truly than to go to Fife, Alabama, Pisgah, Alabama, Ider, Lauderdale County, Florence, Huntsville High, Decatur, Austin. It doesn't matter. When we get those emails and we get those messages from admins and administrators and school athletic directors, and they say such and such is signing their scholarship at this time on this day, and I'm able to be there, and to see that young person be able to continue to fulfill their dreams, all while being able to go and continue their education to have an amazing life. There is nothing like it. Moms and dads and grandmas and meemaws and pawpaws and aunts and uncles, and everybody's there to share this day. Because the one thing I want to piggyback and say this, the reason why I love it is because, you know, we all know this. Phil, you were a child one time. Howard, you were a child at one time. I was a child at one time. No matter what era, no matter how old you are, for the most part, kids do an amazing job. And we always hear, kids, what are we going to do with these kids with these days? What are we going to, no matter if you were born in the 40s like my dad, the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s to modern day. We have more kids, folks, that are doing exceptional, amazing things in the world, much less the state of Alabama, much less North Alabama, that should be honored and recognized for doing the right things or on the trajectory to do the right things. So what better way than to see these student athletes be able to put pen to paper and sign scholarships to not only get to go to school and further their education, but to continue to play a child's game and play a game that you love when there were no crowds and there was no one watching and you were in the backyard and you were going to these rec leagues where 10 people were there. That's what makes it special for me. And I just always fell in love with that. And to this day, that is my favorite thing to cover. You can have the rest. That's fine. That's all icing on the cake. I get it. Man, you don't want to go watch Alabama? And you don't want to go watch Auburn play in the national championship? You don't want to go to the playoff or go to Bryant-Denny or all those games are great. I was fortunate to be there for the kick six. Chris Davis came right toward me. It was I've been blessed to see it all.
Yeah.
You give me a kid signing a scholarship and they got tears in their eyes and they're thinking their mom and their dads and their grands and their pawpaws and I'll take that. Y'all can have the rest.
Yeah, and kind of sort of piggyback off of that, when we were interviewing Joe Guthrie, this the Northeast softball coach, we were talking about that, and I kind of gave the example, like a young lady is going to school at North Sand Mountain. She plays athletics. She's maybe deciding, because there's not a whole lot of choices when you're in high school. A lot of times in Alabama, in the country areas, it's either, if you're going to go to school, you're going to be a teacher or be in the healthcare field. That's mainly your two choices. Well, she's standing there, which one am I going to go into? Well, then Joe Guthrie signs her to a scholarship, broadens her horizon. She meets other people with different goals, same type goals. She becomes a broader person. Well, she might decide to go to video filming. She might decide to coach softball. I think it broadens a kid's horizon by moving on to that next level, not just playing football in school, because they meet new people. They grew up around these same people all their life. Now they have to get to know others, and I think it's so good for them because it makes them better people in the long run.
No doubt. And just to finish this topic, because you're right, man. It's awesome. Because you just mentioned it, Phil. Okay, athletics may not work out for said person as they get into the college ranks, but just to continue to have that trajectory, Phil and Howie, to be able to have just opportunities that sports provide is so key for me. And to see them get excited to continue to play what they love. But then in the other part of it is the educational aspect of it. And to go there and meet like-minded people and different people from all walks of life, people that have goals just like yourself. Man, it's a culmination of everything. And that's why, like, that something about that pen to paper guys, man, and seeing these families excited in these big days, I just always want to honor that. And yes, I would love to get everyone. We're not able to do that, but we try to do our very best to showcase our kids, no matter what the sport is, to be able to kind of showcase them and let them know that, yes, we see your hard work. We want to recognize you here at WAFF.
Yeah, very much understand. Well, I want to ask you, another question. I'll let Howie ask some questions, and I want to point out one thing that I know a lot of times when I see you out and you show up somewhere, you're everybody's punching bag. It seems like as soon as you walk in the door, I've heard people say, "Hey, Carl, can you turn facing us? We can't see you when you stand sideways." All those bunker the jokes. Everybody says, "Well, when you're on TV, it adds 10 pounds to you." I said, "That's not true. It don't do that for Carl." So, I said, I know you're the butt of the joke a whole lot of times.
I love it. Listen, if you can poke and prod and rib yourself and have a good time and it's all in good fun, man, come on. Listen, Phil, how you mentioned it. Guys, I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm not a brain surgeon. I'm not a heart. I cover sports. Like, I'm not solving the world's problems. So why in the world am I not happy with being able to get a paycheck and be able to cover football and basketball and amazing sports and be around amazing people and be around amazing folks in the business? Yes, I probably look like I'm 101 pounds soaking wet with this big old head of mine. But guess what? I loved that's the beauty. Phil, you know this, and how you know this. It's like it's a fraternity. We all have a lot of fun, and I'm as loud as can be. I'm out here talking smack and having a good time with all of our colleagues and stuff. You remember it? Hey, what about Jeff? Jeff, when we were at our media day last week, Jeff was like, "Carl, come on up here and get your camera and stuff down. You're already 5 minutes late. Get your butt in here. Let's go ahead and start this thing and get this show on the road." Like, that's like, because it's fun. It's good to see everybody. It's good to tease and poke fun at folks, man. That's just what it's all about. Like, guys, we are not having to solve any world problem at all. There's way smarter people that do that. People that these amazing hospitals and doing way more difficult jobs than what we do. The least we can do is have fun doing what all of these amazing men and women do on a daily day basis in sports, regardless if it's at the prep level, college level, or pro level.
I think too, I think we've got the greatest job being in what we do. Because John Kirby, good friend of mine, he was coach at Pisgah, principal at Pisgah, and then he's assistant coach at Belhead. Now he goes, he said, Phil's got it made. He said, we all go out here and coach, and we've got all these kids. And he goes, he never loses. He's in the broadcast, and he never loses. I said, yeah, you got it right. I never lose. I mean, because it really doesn't matter to me who wins. After a while, when you're in the media, it really doesn't matter. It's a game, and when the hats come off, you're rooting for kids, you're rooting for communities, and you're rooting for coaches. Yeah, you hate to see people lose, but, the ones that win, okay, that's fine. Great, let's move on. And that's what makes it sports, covering sports and doing this thing. It's what really makes it fun.
Hey, Phil and Howard, if in a perfect world, wouldn't we like every one of our high schools to win? Could you imagine a world where there's a competition, two teams are playing against each other, home or away, neutral field, neutral court, and they both win? That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? How amazing. Everybody goes undefeated. Guess what? When you're in competition, there's a winner and there's a loser. Media members, unbeknownst to what many may think in the sports media, we want all our kids to do well and compete. But we also understand there's a winner, there's a loser. At the end of the day, we have to cover our story and cover what it is. We want the kids to do well, but we root for kids. We root for good people. We root for their success. But fellas, you all know, and for those, I'm telling you, shocker. We are as objective can be. Win or lose, we still got to do our job.
Yeah, definitely so. Well, I want to ask you one more thing, and I'm going to turn it over to Howie, let him ask you a few questions, because I know you're a food guy, and he's going to want to ask you about that. I know. But I want to ask you this. Of all the people you interview, who is the maybe one or two easiest interviews, and maybe who are maybe a couple of the hardest to interview? And really what I'm kind of talking about is mainly at the college level.
Yeah. Does it matter if it's coaches or student athletes or
anybody? Yeah, anybody, whoever you want to pick. Just name two or three of each one, the hardest ones and the easiest ones.
Yeah, I will tell you, probably one of the easiest interviews ever was back in 2010. There was this guy you may have heard of. His name is Cameron Jarrell Newton, and we're out in Arizona at a practice with that team, and crazy thing. Luck of the draw, they finished practicing. And for those kind of peeling the curtain back, when you're at things like that after a practice, sports information directors or people liaisons within the university athletic department that are there on site, they pull some of your key players and they kind of pot them out and separate them. So, media members and stuff can kind of get to them quicker, right? Unbeknownst to me, I'm standing in the right place, right time. And I'm standing there. And one of the SID people bring Cam Newton right over to my area. So I'm standing right by him like this. You fast forward 3 minutes later, and there's probably 80 media members all around it, and it's just me and him standing side by side. I'll never forget this. Sports information person goes, all right, Cam's here. Fire away. You got about 7 or 8 minutes. Silence. It's the silence for about 20 seconds felt like it was 5 minutes. And I'll never forget, Cam is just standing there, and he's like, and I just out of nowhere, I was like, so no, let the Cub reporter ask the question. 2 years, second year here. And I was like, Cam, what is in your I forgot what I said, either CD player, Walkman, iPod, whatever I said. What are you listening to right now? And his face lit up, and he threw out a bunch of different artists and whatnot. And then I followed that up with another question and kind of started talking about their opponent, Oregon, and the work that they were putting in for the week, heading into the week. And then it kind of broke the ice for everyone else. But I just vividly remember just how easy he was to get along with, just how gregarious and just how outgoing he was, and how he could just mesmerize a room. He was one of those guys that I could vividly remember that was just absolutely excellent for sure. I'm trying to think of somebody else that was really, really good that I had a chance to talk to, man, because there's so many. I'll tell you, Vince Young for the Titans was a very good interview. Just very nice. Just a nice guy. You ask questions, he would ask them. Had a down home feel to him where you feel like you could ask him anything in the world. He was excellent. I'm trying to think of some hard interviews. I really haven't had any really hard. I'll tell you this. I try to pride myself on trying to give questions that are like comfortable enough so that I feel like that person believes it's just me and that person just talking, right? That's kind of the beauty with this. Because it's hard. And it's no knock against an athlete or a coach. Some are guarded. Some may think that we're trying to grab a headline or get questions or answer that have nothing to do with the objective at hand. I'm just trying to think of some hard. Let me think. I'm trying to think off the top of my head who was a tough interview. I'll tell you a high school coach, and we're think the world of him. But I think a lot of it has to do with the way that I asked the questions that he really appreciated me and respected me. And he's over on two people. I'll give you one football coach, high school football coach in the Shoals, and I'll give you one football coach in Northeast Alabama. First one is Scott Baisden over in Muscle Shoals, just from a local standpoint. And Coach Baisden does not talk to media before games or anything of that nature. He just doesn't. And I think he respected me early on because I kind of never tried to ask him for that. I always wanted to get him the week of the game or during a normal practice. I try to pride myself on when I go to practice, I don't want to show anything that may give something away to another opponent watching our station. I just always been respectful of space for these coaches and these student athletes that work really, really hard. So he's always been a good guy to me in this business because I think he respects that I don't have any ulterior motives. I'm just worried about kids, your team, what you all have going on from a positive standpoint. And I'll tell you a guy over in Northeast Alabama, you may have heard of him. His name is Paul Bennyfield. That joker, you want to talk about listen, I tell him all the time, I hope he's watching this. You know somebody you may have to pull some teeth out of, like when you first get here. He never was like that. I think it goes back to just a respect standpoint. He understood that I knew I knew when to come to practice. I knew when not to come to practice. I knew when it was time to talk to him. I knew times when it's not time to talk to him. And we just built just a professional relationship that I truly appreciate. And he knows I think the world of him. He messes with me all the time. I'll get a text message from him out of nowhere about what I need to do. What are you doing? And I think the big thing for him and what he truly appreciates, much like a lot of our communities, I just always want to showcase communities and our kids. And there was a time, Phil and Howie, that you all remember, Fife wasn't always Fife. But I always, whether you are winless, on a trajectory up, or you're a perennial state power, much like Fife and on the way up, I always wanted to kind of showcase our kids. And I always take pride in being places and being in communities that are doing the right thing. Whether it's North Sand Mountain, whether it's Fife, whether it's North Jackson, whether it's here in the metro, whether it's over in the Shoals, you're playing well, you're doing well. I want to showcase your kids. And there was a time where Coach Bennyfield, he knows you were trying to get over the hump and break the door down. And I can say that WAFF TV was there when you were making your ascent, when you broke the door down, when you're standing on the door and you're looking at everybody outside the door down. We've been there for it all. And I think he's just appreciated the coverage that we've been able to give and showcase high school sports, high school football and high school athletics. So yeah, those are two of my tough guys. And guess what? There's so many coaches that tease me and text me all the time. And I truly appreciate all of their friendship, regardless of sports, because everybody means well. Everybody has been so kind and so gracious to me. And I know nothing else, fellas, but to try to do the very best I can to showcase our community.
Yeah. Well, hats off to you because, you've done a wonderful job. A lot of folks thinks a lot of you. With the resources you have in the area you got to cover, I think WAFF does a great job, and it's great to have you around because, I don't get to see any of it very much, but I just hear a lot about it. So, of course, I've gotten to know you over the years. We've run into each other several times, but it's always good to spend some time with you. I'm going to turn you over to Howie and let him blitz you a little bit and throw some things at you, and we'll let you get out of here.
All right.
You're saying let's go, but wait till you hear some of these questions. You may be saying, "Oh no."
Hey Phil, those are the best questions. Hey.
Oh yeah.
Listen,
Oh yeah.
Look, these questions are what I'm looking forward to as well.
Yeah.
Back to you talking about Coach Benefield. I've known Coach Benefield for 30 years. His first head coaching job was at Sylvania my senior year, and I got to know him. And you're right. If he knows you, he's going to pick on you. If he likes you, he's going to pick on you. So I understand what you're talking about on that. So, tell us a little bit about this upcoming football season. What do you have planned for the Friday Night Blitz?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking that so much, Howie. Man, I just get so excited about what we're able to provide each and every Friday night. So I'll let you in on a little secret for those watching and listening. We do our very best each and every year to showcase each one of our high schools in our area at least one time. Whether you're playing against another local team, whether you're at home or you're away, at least one time during the 10-week high school football season, we try to have you on our air on our station for our 48 Blitz show. So the way that our show works traditionally is we normally have 14 to 16 games each and every Friday night. We have scoreboards as well. We have a game of the week that's kind of our spotlight game that we announce every Monday leading into Football Fridays. And then, of course, at the end of our show, we have our plays of the week that our communities can vote on. So we try to do a very best job to try to find some of those awesome plays within the highlights of our show. And we are able to allow our community members to vote on that throughout Friday night at the end of the show, heading into next Wednesday, and we announce our winner there. And that's been a huge, big boost for us throughout the year. And then after the 48 Blitz show that airs on our regular scheduled television station, we have a 48 Blitz OT show. So what we do is we kind of go a little bit more in depth, and we try to have an opportunity to talk to coaches after games and link up with them, whether it's video or audio via phone. And then we kind of go through some of the highlights that maybe some families may not have an opportunity to catch. If you didn't DVR it or you're trying to run home to try to catch us, you can kind of rehash and watch some of that. And we've really been able to grow that, Howie, from our YouTube channel, our Facebook channel. Because as you know, we mentioned it with the print media, everything is on these phones now, right? So if mom and dad are driving back and the kids are in the back seat, or you want to simulcast it through your Bluetooth to hear the audio as you head home, you have that access now where you can be able to watch that each and every Friday night, whether that's on Facebook, whether that's on our YouTube channel, or our 48 Sports Zone app. We're the first TV station in our area within the state to have a sports app, and we really do a good job. It's a little over a year old now. We try to house all of our content from there, from video, our game highlights, sports stories that you may see featured on our television stations throughout the year, including football. So there's a myriad of ways to be able to access that as well. But one of our flagship things that we're going to do this year that we're extremely excited about, we're going to do a 48 tailgate each and every Friday from our game of the week. So we all know what college game days like, and we want to build that atmosphere leading up to kickoff of our game of the week each and every Friday. So we'll be out inside the stadium ready to go, and we'll have a team out there getting all of our viewers and those that are coming in excited and excited about the game of the week. We want student involvement, our cheerleaders, our fans, and we want to really make it a really cool ordeal there each and every Friday from week 0 up through week 10 of the high school football season. We are extremely excited about that, and we're working on that and kind of getting the logistics down as we prepare for week 0 and our first game of the week coming up on August 22nd.
Are y'all going to bring the food for the tailgate?
You may see, you may smell something from here or there. You may have to smell something with maybe some gift cards and things that maybe some vendors in around our great communities may be able to provide. So how are you? If you get there early enough, one of these weeks, you may be able to get your hands on something tangible that you can consume, or you may be able to take something in hand and take it to somewhere in those communities across our North Alabama area.
You know, you say you're 5'9", 101 soaking wet. You know, I'm 5'14" at 400 or at 240 pounds. So
Let me tell you something. The way that I eat, I need to be a two-gap D tackle. Started for a P4 program in the Southeastern Conference. The way that I eat, I walk around. I'm at 185, 86 right now. But I will say this: I've been blessed with genetically genes. My metabolism's crazy. I can really pretty much eat whatever I want. But I'm very active. I work out and all that good stuff. But let me tell you guys, I love to eat. Like I love to eat. Like there have been people looking at me like, your little butt out here eating like this. Like what is going on? Where is it going? I was probably like, my hair's not growing anymore. I done grew into that. So like, what else? What else the heck? Where else? I don't know where it's going. I don't know.
yeah. Talking about food and everything. What's your favorite food? What or favorite place you like to eat at?
Man, that's a great question. I'm trying to think of like what I really, really, truly like. Like, I love pizza, but like I'm kind of like meat and potatoes guy, right? Like I love steak. I love it. People ask me my favorite cut. I love it. Like this is gonna go back to my food. I love a porterhouse. I know it's a lot of meat. I get it, but man, there's nothing wrong with a porterhouse. I'll eat any steak. Let's not get it twisted. You want some chopsticks, some flank steak. You want ribeye. You want New York strip. I don't care if you want to cook it for me or I gotta cook it. You gonna bring it to me and I can cook. We can do that. I'm down with that. Uh, I love potato. I love potatoes. You can bake it. You can saute it. You can au gratin it. I don't care what it is. You do it. I'm gonna eat it. Love pizza. Love spaghetti. And then of course, listen, man, I'm a country boy from Kentucky, man. Listen, and all the great folks in North Alabama, Northeast Alabama, man, y'all fed me. Listen, you give me any mac and cheese, you give me any kind of fried chicken, you give me any kind of country fried steak, you give me any mashed potatoes, rolls, ribs, catfish. You get, I'm eating it and I'm gonna try to do my best to put some weight into those foods because I love them. Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Listen, I will say this in all seriousness. Love to eat, but I try to watch what I eat for the most part. Especially, you all know this, guys. It's so hard, man. You're going to these stadiums and you're moving in highways and byways, and you don't have a regimen. You can't eat when you want to. Sometimes you're trying to scarf stuff down. You're trying to eat something on the go. So I will say, like, for the most part during the week, I do my very, very best to try to kind of stay on a regimen, kind of eat as clean as I possibly can. But I will tell you, and during the weekends, that's when I pig out. I'm trying to eat people out of house and home. I don't care if I'm at a stadium. I don't care if I'm at my house, somebody else's house. I'm trying to eat my.
Absolutely. Randy Randy Cunningham, the owner of River City Media, he's like River City Media is the home of fat suit sportscasters. Carl, you still there?
Well,
Oh, I think Carl's getting another phone call possibly.
yeah. Usually what happens in this.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
hey, ask him. I'll let you ask him when you get it back. Is ask him what does he do to kind of wind down to get away from things?
oh yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to ask him, but I'll
I
let you
think I'm
ask.
back.
Okay.
You back, Carl? I think we
Yes.
had
Can
him
you
there
all
for a
hear
second.
me?
Yeah. Hear you.
He disappeared, but he's back now. I think. Carl, you there?
I can hear you. I don't think you can see me though. Can you see the picture?
Correct. No, we cannot see you, but we can hear you.
Okay, okay. We're gonna see. We're gonna make something happen. You see if I can get you back.
If you have to, just exit out, and then I'll bring you right back in. Carl, if you got me, I'm going to remove you, and then you just come right back in. Okay. The world technology. Hey, we got
there he
we got
is.
part of Carl showing us a little bit of his house.
Of his mansion.
Yeah. His mansion up on probably Montesano.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, he's probably got one of them houses next to Nick Saban or something.
Yeah. There you go. He finally went all the way out, so maybe he'll come right back in. Then we'll bring him in, and maybe it'll work. The world of technology is a great thing, but then it's also a pain in the rear.
Yeah, you're
there he
is.
There you go. Yes.
Yes, sir. You are back.
I think.
Oh, yes.
So I can't hear you all.
Can you not hear me?
We can hear you.
We can hear you. Can you hear us? Carl, can you hear us?
You hear us?
Is this kind of what y'all call technical difficulties on the TV side?
Can you hear him?
We had a little trouble with this the other night during one of the band podcasts. Every once in a while, the other guy's audio would go out, and then he'd have to go out and then come back in, and it worked fine.
Yeah.
So
yeah, maybe that's what he can get done here.
So, but I tell you what, Carl is energetic, full of personality, and it's always on the go. And
yeah, definitely.
Carl.
Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Yes, you got us.
We got it. All right. Hey, listen. We got to listen. We're down. We were down 10. We got to find a way to finish it on out. We had a few little technical difficulties. We'll finish it out.
Yeah, that's why I was asking Phil while you were out, would this be considered what y'all call technical difficulties on the TV side?
If you if you would only imagine the technical difficulties that we have live TV, that you just gotta just mosey on through, just keep on.
Yeah. Hey, I got a comment I want to bring up that Heath Hamrick had put on earlier. Best sports guy on TV. Heath Hamrick is the editor of the Times Journal.
Yeah, that's my guy. And it was so good to see him. Phil, we were over at the Bevel Restaurant Center over there, and I got to see Heath, man, and it was so good to see him. What a good dude. Enjoy his columns and enjoy his editorial expertise with that paper. I try to do my best to kind of read that from time to time. And man, Heath, I appreciate those kind of words, my man. It was so good to see you in Fort Payne, Rainsville rather, and at the Bevel Center, man, when we had our media days out there. That was really cool. Appreciate the kind words there, my man.
Actually, Randy Cunningham, the owner of River-City-Media, we was talking about the food before we had the difficulties, but
yeah,
Randy said River City is the home of fat sportscasters. I weigh in at 240, about 240, 245. Randy weighs in around 300, and Phil's the lightest of us all at around what, 180?
About 190.
Well, I tell you what. I'm big in spirit.
Hey, no doubt.
I love these, man. I'm telling you, I love to throw that week when I'm in town somewhere, man. We're gonna go somewhere. Y'all gonna take me somewhere, man. We can go throw it down somewhere.
Absolutely. Positively. We'll do it. Couple more questions. We'll let you go, Carl. We appreciate your time tonight. You're it's kind of the quiet before the storm that takes place here. And y'all get started, 2 weeks now?
Yeah, so our first 48 Blitz show will be on August 22nd, so week 0. So we have, of course, the Jamboree is going to be next week, kind of that. If you're going to have a Jamboree, you're not going to play week 0, vice versa. And but yes, our first show will be August 22nd. So that'll be our game week and our debut.
Mm-hmm. We appreciate this time. You probably rather be taking it easy and resting because, like you said earlier in this podcast, your season is fixing to start and it won't end until sometime in May.
Oh man, I'm happy to do it. And Howard, we just talked about food. It doesn't matter because as soon as we done here, I'm about to get this belly full. I'm about to eat me something to give me something to eat. It don't matter. Hey, we can talk as long as we want. Because after this is done, whether it's at 9:42,
Yeah.
whether it's at 10:42, 2:42, Carl Prather gonna eat before you lay down.
Hey,
Yeah.
you're not doing the 10 o'clock news tonight. Who's covering for you?
Yeah, so I'll tell you how this works. So we did a tape recording earlier today. We were for my 6 o'clock. I was on location for a preview. I was at a football practice, but did a preview on Hartsville, the Hartsville Tigers. So for those that are not familiar, we will do high school football previews as we get toward the end of this week, every day until we lead into kickoff. Some of our teams to look out for, and we're really going to start hitting Northeast Alabama and stuff exceptionally well. You know, Fife Red Devils. We try to, at the end of our previews, we want to kind of showcase them, obviously, because we know the standard they've set. But yeah, our own Cam Durr, she's going to hold down the 10 p.m. show tonight. So make sure you tune in for Cam and her show tonight at 10. I was just out and about. We were doing promos today and doing all that stuff. So we kind of did split double duty today as we kind of get all these logistics into place for high school football.
Music wise, what type of music does Carl enjoy listening to?
Man, I'll tell you, everybody uses the generic term. I listen to everything, but legitimately, like I have some core genres that I love. You know, I grew up. I was a hip hop kid and an R&B kid, old school R&B, and kind of growing up in the '90s. You kind of your new R&B artists, New Jack Swing and stuff of that nature. But I will tell you too, I have an affinity I love country music, but I will say this: I love more country music back when I was growing up in the '90s and late '90s. And no disrespect to any of our amazing artists and stuff in country music and now, but man, I remember like Keith Whitley. Like I loved Keith Whitley when I was a kid. My mom loved Keith Whitley. Strangely enough, I remember coming home from school. My mom was had finished work and worked early. And like she's like, I come in to the house and she's in a ball of tears. I'm like, what is wrong with you? My dad's just coming home and we're like, what? And that was the day she heard on the radio that Keith Whitley had passed away. So like just to go to show you, like she loved Keith Whitley, but man, yeah, I mean, you know the hits, man. You know, like you love Garth, you love Allen, you know, Clan, like, but those, I mean, Randy, like those are, those guys are the guys I grew up with, and Shania Twain and all that stuff from a country music standpoint, but. Yeah, man, I loved hip hop and R&B when I was a kid and stuff. And then I got some rocks, some rockers and stuff that I loved as well. Like I kind of grew up at the tail end of the hair bands and all that stuff. But man, yeah, I'm serious. Like I like a little bit of everything I love, but I had some cores there for sure.
I say I'm back before you. I'm more toward that. Now I loved R&B. That's one of my favorite. I was more the Brothers Johnson to Rick James. That's the era I was in. That's what I really loved.
I should have. My dad. So my dad, when I was growing up, he probably had like over, gosh, I would say 1,000, 400 something records. So I wish he would have said that because I could have I should have thought of that and brought some records there. But like I got a couple of vinyls right now. Like I remember when I was a kid, I thought when I was like 6 and 7. I thought Whitney Houston was the prettiest woman I've ever seen in my life. I was like, who is this? And I have the album, like her original album there. So, and my dad, like, he had, Average White Band and the Doobie Brothers and had the Spinners and the Stylistics and had Teddy Pendergrass. My mom's, she's a proud graduate of Lane College in Jackson, Tennessee. She saw Teddy Pendergrass. Teddy Pendergrass came to her school and did a concert on the school grounds when she was in college. I was like, but y'all know this, though. Y'all know this. There were so many artists that did that. They toured campuses and did that. So that was nothing for like, oh yeah, like we saw Teddy Pendergrass, we saw Sly and the Family Stone. They just came to campus one day. What? So
Heath Hambrick had response to you, said, good to see you too. Thanks. Thank you too. Thank you also for the kind words.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate that guy, man. That's a good man, and just appreciate his friendship. And man, I mean, he's classy, class personified, man. I was just happy to see him, much like I was everybody else that I was able to see. I know it's hard, how it feels. It's hard to see everybody once we kind of get busy, but it's just kind of like a little family reunion, man. Like I was telling Jeff Allen, I told him when we were coming into the Bevel, I said, like, he was teasing me. He's like, man, get your butt over here and get ready. So we about to start. And I was like, man, it's like a family reunion. I'm over here hugging necks and stuff with coaches. I'm hugging, dabbing kids up. I'm hugging the media members. How y'all doing? You know, so it's just fun. It's good to see Heath for sure.
You know, I've got a regular job. Phil's got a regular job as well. When we get done with that job, we like to relax by watching sports and stuff like that. You're watching sports all day long. What do you do away from your job to kind of relax?
You're gonna laugh. Listen, it's not too far away from it. So all these kids love playing all these video games and stuff. They do all these complex video games, you know, these what they Call of Duty and all that stuff. But I've always, you know, was fortunate enough to have gaming systems my entire adolescent life and stuff. But man, I just probably in the late '90s, man, I remember on the very first iteration of the PlayStation, they had this game called NCAA Football 2008. They had Danny Warfel on the front of it, and ever since then, I've had every year of that game, and I love it. That's kind of something, kind of my downtime that I love to do. And I remember you, for those that remember, like the last 2 years, last year was the first time in over a decade it came back. And man, I mean, you know, whenever I have a free moment, I try to play that to wind down and stuff. Love documentaries. I'll tell you this. Here's something that I do in the off season that you all are gonna crack up about. I love 48 Hours and Dayline. I watch all of those. Like, so I save them. Listen, guys, if they come on new during the football season, I just don't have time to. But man, I'll save them on like the DVR. We get to the spring and stuff, man, I watch all of those.
Hey, you know, the thing is about that, you know, that's real life. Yeah.
And I'm like, this dude, this girl did that to who did, you know, and don't get me wrong, it's like, obviously these stories are tragic and there's families involved and stuff, but it's just like, man, like I never got why people loved like crime series and docu-series, like crime series like that. But man, I mean, for years on end, it got it, like my wife laughs at me all the time. Like if we were not at church or we don't go to church on a Sunday or something like that, and we're home, and I always try to do a big breakfast for them on Sunday mornings and stuff. And after we eat breakfast or while I'm cooking breakfast, I mean, you got one of them Dayline. I got one of them Daylines on during the off season. You're like 48 hours. You're like, how many of these Daylines did you save and watch it, man? What are you doing? I'm like, man, I got to watch this, man. I got something happening in this county somewhere else. So that's a kind of a quote unquote a guilty pleasure for me. And I will say too, I do like reality TV. So don't, my wife, I have to blame her. I'm blaming her because I love it more than she does. You know, all them housewife shows and stuff. I watch all those. Those Real Housewives, whatever. I watch all those. I'm not, there's no need for me to try to hide this or be ashamed of this. Yes, I watch them all. I watch every one of them. I can tell you what's happening with this person, and that person. She kind of keeps me updated, like through the pop culture and stuff, what's happening, because I don't know. But if it's on, like, we'll save them.
Hey, you can tell how I grew up. I like the Deadliest Catch and Moonshiner, so that kind of tears you the way I breathe. Hey, I want to ask you this, Carl, for you know, how big is faith in your life? Is it important?
Everything. Yeah. I don't know everything. You know, I don't. It's not even I don't know. I know I wouldn't be where I'm at without my faith, and you know, it's that's a great question, Phil. Man, God has been so good to me, man. I better than I deserve, man. And you know, I'll be the first to say I can't speak for anybody else, but I wish I could, you know, walk in His steps. I'm not nowhere near. I'm on the other side of the ocean as far as trying to be perfect, but I try to do the right thing and try to do the very best I can to be a good person, good citizen of our area. But no, Phil, faith is everything for me. It's, you know, you can kind of, it's funny, you kind of in my head kind of think like, I just remember like, you know, your mom and some kind of, you know, teaching the Lord's Prayer and stuff. You remember that and all this stuff, and you know, being baptized at 12, and you know, taking my kid to church, and you know, Blake asking questions, and Being born and raised in the church. Shout out to Pleasant View Baptist Church in downtown Louisville, man. I mean, grew up in that church with Reverend J.C. Piles, and now Bruce J. Shaw's there. So we try to, we get home, and my wife, born and raised in the church, First Baptist Church in Bardstown, Kentucky. So, man, yeah, faith is everything, man. And for me, it is a cornerstone and a pillar in my life to be able to kind of make my life whole and make all of the things that I have to do and have to do in everyday life possible. I tremendous gratitude with just how blessed I am to this day.
Couple more quick questions, Carl, and we'll let you go. We appreciate your time. We don't want to wear our welcome out, but you're welcome. Come on here anytime, man.
You name it, and I'm there. You just tell me. We can talk college football later on mid-year. Whatever you want to do, man. We can rock and roll with it.
And when you come up to Northeast Alabama over in DeKalb County, you give me a call. Go fill a call. We'll meet up. We'll go eat lunch somewhere, man.
You got you, my brother. You got it.
And so you've interviewed a lot of people. You've talked to a lot of people. Have you ever been awestruck when you interviewed someone?
Man, y'all got the great questions, man. Y'all got some good questions. I do not get starstruck with in my profession, as crazy as that sounds. I've never been. I'll tell you what. I'm not gonna say I haven't been starstruck. I've been starstruck for people that I've grown to read about, like from a historic standpoint, right? So, 2018, I'm in Minnesota for the Final Four, covering Auburn, in the Final Four. And I'm in my hotel lobby. I don't know what I was waiting on or about to do. And in walks Oscar Robertson. Those type of guys like that are what, like, I'm like, Oscar Robertson. And to sit and have a conversation with Oscar Robertson. The great Pat Summitt, is from the county over from Montgomery County in Tennessee. She was born and raised in Montgomery County, but they did not have girls basketball, so she had to go to Cheatham County, the next county over. Well, how about my second year in Clarksville or something? Her son has an AAU team, and they had a tournament in Clarksville on the campus of Austin Peay State University. The coach bowed out or something, whatever happened. She drives the team from Knoxville up to Clarksville and coaches the team. I need to find that video. I got a mini DV tape, and I need to find that video. But I interviewed her stuff. But what a treat to be able just to sit with her. Nobody's around, and I got to talk to her for 2 hours, just me and her. Had a chance to go back to Tennessee, and they had an open practice there. It was her, and this is Coach Pearl was there at the time, and I went in there, and we had some friends that were born and raised with her, and she's like, I remember you, and we talked then, and so yeah, like, I mean, everybody's like, oh my God, it's Derrick Henry, or oh my God, it's Amari Cooper, or Cam Newton, or Tua Tagovailoa, or oh my God, like. But like some of the guys that and women that I'm starstruck about are like people that I kind of like when I was growing up in the 90s and stuff that I kind of looked up to. I'll tell you one guy that I wish I was able to meet that I didn't get to meet, but was a major part of Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm from a county below that, but would love to meet Muhammad Ali. My mom and dad were able to meet him because he lived in the city. I have photos here. I have a front page of the newspaper when he passed away. It's kind of his obit. With him, but just man, I would love to meet that guy. I'm trying to think of some of the other guys that I've met that's super awesome. I'll tell you somebody that's nice. And it's ironic that it's going to be his final show for College Game Day. Lee Corso is one of the nicest men you'll ever meet. Man, we were down in Miami for the Alabama Notre Dame Natty game, and man, just nice, man, just a gracious guy. Just had all the time in the world to talk to us. Was super nice. But yeah, like celebrities and stuff like that. You see a lot of those, celebrities and stuff out at games and big matchups and stuff. But now, historic guys and guys like Condrick Holloway, like that's Condrick Holloway. Like that was a big deal for me. Like, man, I got to meet Condrick Holloway. Like what he was able to do for that program and breaking the color barrier for the Southeastern Conference at that position. And man, like that, those are the things that I get like that I fall in love with and I'm kind of starstruck about. Because I mean I've been blessed. I've been able to meet. I mean everybody you name it. You know, Peyton Manning.
You know, hey,
other.
you're talking about College Holloway. I got to meet him a couple times. Real down to earth, real genuine person. And I want to know if I got to meet Pat Summitt. It was the year she was diagnosed with onset dementia, and we were in Chattanooga, and I finally got to meet her. The thing that, you know, everybody talks about this aura of people, you know, how sometimes you'll meet them and you're disappointed in what you meet, and sometimes, you know, they're pretty good people. The thing is with Pat Summitt, she's the only celebrity that I've ever met where when you talk to her, it don't matter how many people's in the room, it's you and her. And she makes you feel like you're the most important person in the room. How she does that, I don't know. And when I was talking to her, some of the guys said, hey, we need to hurry up. You know, the show's fixing to start. She goes, hey, listen, you just get out of here. I'm not leaving and coming in there until every person is served in here. And then she came back to me, there's pictures and asked me, are you through? And, you know, she just had that aura about her. And one person I got to meet, Carl, that a lot of people will never have. When I was 9 years old, I got to meet Bear Bryant. Now,
Wow.
I was not old enough to know exactly who he was, but I got a picture and got his autograph. And, you know, and I can remember that gruff voice. And he wasn't interested in anything a parent had to say. He was only interested in the kids. He would talk to the kids, but he wouldn't pay one bit of attention to the parents. And, you know, and I just always remember that gruff voice he had on his hat and he had on his sport jacket.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Carl, you mentioned being a big wrestling fan back in the day. We have a wrestling show we do on here on Thursday nights. We talk about local indie stuff, and then we also talk about the national stuff. Who's your favorite wrestler when you was growing up?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. You had his action figure there. You know, just from the larger than life, like Hulk Hogan was, just from a, you know, when you're a kid, man, you know, like you have superheroes, and what I mean by superheroes, like those larger life figures, like from cartoons that we like, and you know this, Howie, like, you know, the WWF at the time, you know, in the late 80s, as you know, they kind of transitioned to kind of become a stable and nationally. You know, he was kind of, of course, rock and roll wrestling and being able to make the sport moving toward the entertainment, but like usher in the larger than life figures. You know, think about it. Like, think about just even everyone in that organization. You know, him and some of the like just bigger or larger, like a whoa type guys, and his aura and everything he was about inside the square circle was special. But I'll tell you, man, like um, mad respect for the WWF, man. But I'll tell you, like, I was an NWA guy. So of course everybody talks about Flair, and I love Flair, but it's something about that organization and Jim Crockett and everybody that I like fell in love with in the 80s. Man, I just love the way they did their pay-per-views, and I love the way that like their characters. And you know, of course, you know, we all know Dusty and Rick and Steamboat. And you know, you think about like even like those mid-Atlantic days, how hot that territory was in Georgia wrestling. I know people remember Dothan and the indie shows and stuff here and stuff, but man, like, man, the Midnight Express and like Bobby Eaton from Huntsville and stuff, like I remember that. My mom is from West Helena, Arkansas, and her mom and dad used to take her to the Mid-South Coliseum. So they would go watch Mid-South Wrestling, like, and she saw Joe LeDuc and Jerry Lawler and Jackie Fargo and the Fabulous Ones. It was Steve Keirn and Stan Lane. Like, I know those guys. I had a subscription for the first to fourth grade of the Progressive Illustrated. I had that I read Bill Apter. Like, I had those things in Sting and the Big Gold Belt and like Starcade and great. So like, and you know, fell in love with the AWA when I found that out. And you know, I respect and love the product as it is now with AEW, the major brands, WWF, and of course the indie shows are doing great. And you know, I don't watch it as much as I do. Was able to watch the second night of SummerSlam on Sunday, the main event there. But I record them still. Don't watch them as much as I did, but I'm still around it enough to still kind of be able to kind of, I guess if you watch it enough and see talent and see that I guess you kind of become a vet just from the standpoint of, you know, how you know talent. You see, like when I saw Triple H, I saw one of his first matches on WWF Superstars. It's Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And I knew then, I was like, man, that guy's a star. I remember seeing Steve Austin down in Texas. And I don't even know, I'm can't believe I blinked on this. I'm so excited. I forgot to say, dude, man, freaking the Texas Sportatorium and wrestling into like the Von Erichs, like outside of Hulk Hogan, Kerry Von Erich is really close to Hulk Hogan. Like just how hot it was in that mid '80s, and I'm a kid there, but like to be able to have VHS tapes and see it and fall in love and all of the angles they had there, the Freebirds and the Von Erich rivalry, and man, like the missing link, and then to see him transform and get into the '90s and stuff, and young stars like Shawn Michaels and Steve Austin there, and people don't maybe not remember like Sting and the Ultimate Warriors were the Blade Runners. They started in Mid-South Wrestling. Like it's just kind of cool to kind of follow that lineage and kind of follow it along. But yeah, man, I wish I could watch more of it that I do. I try to catch it and kind of watch Raw and AEW from time to time. I record them, but that Territory days was my wheelhouse, man. I loved all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm surprised you've been up close to Louisville and all that. You didn't mention one Mr. Jim Cornette.
Hey, listen, Jimmy, I love Jimmy. I'll tell you a quick story. I had a guy that I know. He was like, man, I met Jim Cornette out at Wendy's one day, and like I was talking to him about wrestling, and like he brought me out to his car. He opened the trunk, and Jim Cornette had like all of these VHS tapes and all this stuff. He's like, just giving it here, man. There you go. He's just giving it to people. Jim Cornette is one of the greats as a promoter, manager that you could ever imagine. He was fantastic, and that's just a guy that just knows and just entrenched in the business. Him, Paul Heyman, guys like that, man. Like they have seen a little bit of everything, man.
Yeah, absolutely. We may have to bring you on our wrestling show one night.
Come on.
Do a little bit of talking, man.
Yeah, man, I love it. I do. I love pro wrestling. It's been a part of my life since I was 8. I'm talking a kid, 6, 7 years old. Like I have been in it. I love it.
We're still recording, so all this, bring it on. All this, you're live on here, so we got proof that you're saying you're going to come back on.
Absolutely, you got my word for sure.
2 more questions, and we'll let you get out here. It's hard to believe we've been on here for an hour and 45 minutes already. Wow, I can sit here and talk to you all night, Carl. You just bring so much energy and everything. SEC Media Days, you was over there at that. I was over there, and Atlanta traffic is always bad, but we were over there to watch WWE. They were at State Farm Arena for that whole weekend. You had the SEC Media Days. You had Beyonce at the Benz, and we stayed at the Omni Hotel where it was at. How great is it for y'all together there at the SEC Media Days and just talk with everybody and talk with all the players and coaches?
It's awesome because I always call it the unofficial start to the upcoming season. Everyone's 0-0. Everyone's excited about their teams. Everyone is excited about what they have to offer within their programs. But you mentioned it. Yeah, we stayed. Ironically enough, I wish we would have linked up, man. We were in the Omni, and we got there on Sunday. Of course, they had the Evolution event. They had Monday Night Raw. Beyonce was there, as you mentioned. They had a little bit of everything. And their All-Star weekend was going on that weekend as well. Atlanta was hosting that. But back to what you were saying, the SEC Media Days is awesome, and it's really cool. We get excited because we love to kind of see the stars of stars come here. This year was really cool because I think that you all can attest. We got a lot of stars under center as signal callers this year heading into the league, and to be able to have all of those programs and institutions bring those guys there was really special. DJ Lagway was as classy as you get. If you didn't know any better, you'd think he was the starter for one of the NFL franchises. How eloquent he was and how just together and prepared he was. Listening to John Mateer from Oklahoma, being able to hear from Lenore Sellers, who was just awesome as well. Then, of course, Arch Manning and the circus that kind of followed him from a media standpoint. And more importantly, Arch just being Arch. I just felt like he was his own person and comfortable in his own skin. But I'm excited about this season within the Southeastern Conference because I believe we got a lot of, as I like to call, erasers that can generate a win or two that you may not think that they can because they have an excellent signal caller to keep them in games. I know Lane didn't bring Austin Simmons, but I am as high on Austin Simmons as anyone can ever possibly be with the limited sample size that we've seen of him. And it was just really cool to hear from everyone. Coach Heupel as well, man, just so steadfast and understanding and believing what he has within his organization is good enough without Nico there. It just was cool, and it's cool to be able to see once again. It's kind of a fellowship, a family reunion to see uh, a lot of local media members from all walks of life that you see year in and year out on sidelines and other media days, be able to be together with one another, to be able to just meet and everyone getting excited for the college football season, because I love the game. I love following it from not only the Southeastern Conference level but nationally. So it's just really fun to be able to be a part of. Howard, that's a great question.
Yeah, and the main reason I brought that up was the hotel we was in. Of course, is Omni. I think we was in the North Tower. Y'all were at the lobby of the North Tower, and I'm a people watcher. I don't make fun of people. Well, maybe sometimes, but I enjoy watching people, And so I went down to the lobby and sat down there, and all the media people coming in from all across the country, and there it was like a big reunion of people that haven't saw each other in probably since media days last year.
That's right.
Or if their team that they're covering faced the other team, they hadn't saw each other in close to a year, and it was just like they're picking up like they just where they left off at, and I know it was same with you meeting some of the other guys that was there that you probably hadn't saw in a year either.
It was awesome. Yeah, and that's exactly right. And here's the thing with the SEC network and ESPN there and other national media, like we know a lot of those folks too, because they've either, been in the local TV market. We've seen them around a lot. So it's just really cool. And, they come and speak with us. We interview them, and it's really cool. It's really cool to be able to be a part of, for sure.
Yeah. Me and my daughter was going down to, I don't know what I was doing, but anyway, we got down to the lobby or close to the lobby there, and we ran into Joe Tessitore.
Yeah.
Which he wasn't there for the media days. He was there for WWE wrestling because he had just done the Saturday night's main event.
Yep.
And then, we talked to him, and I said, how is college football going to affect you doing the wrestling? Because he does it on Friday night. He said, they will fly me to a game on Saturday. I will do the game on Saturday and then fly back out and start WWE stuff on Monday,
Yep.
So, but anyway, Carl, we appreciate your time. Sorry we kept you so long.
Oh, man. But, don't worry about that. No, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being with you guys. Thank you all for, like I said, thanks for having me.
We just don't wear our welcome out. We want to make sure you come back at least one more time.
For sure. I promise you. You name the date, and you have my word. I'll be there. Whether it's wrestling, college football talk, midpoint of high school football, so you name it, man. We can talk forever.
Hey, get some work out of AJ if you will.
Boy, you know what? He works way harder than me. See, he's got to keep me alone. I love AJ, man. That's my guy. I appreciate him.
Yeah, he's a super good guy, nice guy. When he goes to the Falcons games, he goes with us, and
that's
sometimes
great.
and he's from over there in Atlanta, and he's diehard Braves, Falcons, Bulldogs.
That's it. Die hard. I tease everybody because we got a lot of Bama and Auburn fans over there, so I be teasing them all the time. Like, when y'all gonna compete with Georgia? When y'all compete with it? Like, I tease them all the time. But no, AJ does a fantastic job, and he loves sports. So we have a lot of amazing sports talks. He's a Falcon guy. I'm a 49er guy. I respect Arthur Blank and what he's been able to do in communities and elevating flag football for our young ladies. Yes. And then we're both Braves fans. Now, we ain't got a lot to cheer about right now. Right. But we still look. I had this hat on. Like, look, that's like I love my guys.
Yep. Yeah, he was up there. We was kind of talking about it earlier. He was up there for the Bristol game, and I asked Jamie Lee. I hadn't talked to him, but I asked Jamie Lee, because they played a half inning, then they called it or suspended it, and then everybody had to leave. I said, "Did AJ go back for the Sunday game or the rest of it on Sunday?" He's like, "Oh yeah."
Oh yeah,
they went back.
He's diehard. Oh yeah, he's diehard. He's diehard.
Absolutely, and he used to work for the Braves for a while.
He did.
He was security. So anyway, man, like I said, I can sit here and talk to you all night, Carl, but we're going to let you get out of here. We appreciate your thing. Two things before we go. One, I always ask everybody this: you have any superstitions that you got to do before you hit the airwaves?
Not one. Not one. No superstitions.
Rituals. We had one coach say, "No, it's not superstitions; it's rituals." So do you have any rituals? You ain't got
no rituals. No.
You just wait on that red light to come on and you start talking, huh?
Let's go.
And number two, before we let you get going, shout outs. Any shout outs you'd like to give to anybody before we let you go?
Oh, it's easy. I just want to send a shout out to everybody in Northeast Alabama. Thanks. You don't understand. Like, we appreciate the love that we receive from everyone and all of those proud, amazing communities, because you all let us know each and every Friday night and during the high school sports calendar. And it just means a lot to us that you are allowing us to be a part of your daily lives and your daily way of life, rather, each and every day, letting us be a part of your life on Channel 48. So big shout out to Northeast Alabama. Big shout out to all of North Alabama for just letting us be a part of your lives each and every week. Seriously, and I really mean that. I love our folks here in our area because they care about our communities.
Awesome. Sounds great. And me and Phil will be waiting on that phone call when you get over to the Cab Jackson area where we can go out and eat lunch. And
you find me a catfish spot, a real spot, a chicken spot, some pizza, some spaghetti, or something like that, I'm in.
I heard somebody say something one time about you. Said, what type of food does Carl likes? And somebody said, as long as it starts with an F and ends with a D and got a couple O's in it, he's good.
Call me what you want to call me. Just call me when it's time to eat.
Yeah.
You're speaking my language, baby. You're speaking my language right now. Come on now. Come on, Carl. Talk to me now.
Yeah.
Phil, you got any closing remarks or Carl?
No, I just appreciate you coming. Appreciate your friendship. We've kind of gotten to each other a little bit and kind of get to know you a little bit better. And I'm sure you've learned a little bit about us. And look forward to seeing you again. Good luck for the season. Hope everything goes well for you. It's football season is a great time because all these communities come together like no other. And I'm looking forward to it. And it's always a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you so much, Phil. Howard, good to see you all, man. I appreciate y'all having me. And like I said, we will do this again. You all just say the word and we can make it happen. And I appreciate you all letting me be on your show tonight.
Hey, we're going to put you in that group chat with us as far as on Friday nights, and scores will be flying at you like crazy.
I love it, man. Thank you all so much. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Carl.
All
For
right.
Phil Harris, Howard Cheney, our special guest, Carl Prather of 48 Blitz, WAFF 48. Good night, everybody.